What's good? What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome to the Barbershop Talk. We'll see if I can If I have my co-hosts or the usual suspects able to come up here today. But what we can do real quick, we can have a recap over what was talked about. So we went into Proverbs chapter 13, verse 24, and Proverbs 23, 13 through 14, to show how pain is a tool to use for discipline, and how you need pain to be able to discipline yourself as well as others. And if you have children, your children, uh, pain and fear work together to use together to teach to learn from it. And I mean, the some of life's best lessons are learned through pain, uh, and the fear of that pain. Um, so it's something you can avoid, and something you also don't want to if you want to grow, because pain it does help you grow. Uh, but oh, Ray, yeah, I'm not I'm not on Zoom. I actually use StreamYard because it just it's tool to streamline with with YouTube more so than Zoom does. But and this Zoom's a little bit more difficult. StreamYard's easy. More so than Zoom. How you doing, brother?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. All right. Shalom. Shalom. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. How
Okay.
you
Oh,
doing?
I'm tired, but I'm okay.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry. Shalom to the gentleman in the chat as well. How's everybody doing?
Think everybody's doing okay.
All right. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
Zoom is more detailed in certain areas, but yeah, StreamYard is more. Um, it's set up to run with YouTube more so than Zoom is, even though Zoom does work. But yeah. So, did you get to check out the pre the topic that I did you get to check out the last video? I guess live stream, anyways.
yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, I guess your thoughts on this, brother.
Uh, that's it's interesting because of course, without doubt, I agree with what you said in the video, and definitely I agree with scripture. It's interesting for me because how can I put this? Uh, Looking at it, I mean, looking at it from that angle, I
Mm-hmm.
agree wholeheartedly. Pain is the ultimate teacher. I mean, it just is, and like you said, along with it naturally follows fear.
Right.
But I guess for me, I was when I was listening to the other video, I actually started thinking from the opposite side of that,
Okay.
where what happens with people, well, the way I used to be, and there are still people out there though who try to save people from their pain. I started thinking of it from that perspective,
I got
and
you now.
and of course that naturally sent my brain into white knights and all that, that
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
because I don't mean to go into that direction, but I'm just saying
Well, I mean,
I started
and it
thinking of
doesn't
it from that
necessarily have to
perspective.
be from women. It can be just other
Correct,
human beings in general.
correct,
Um,
correct. But
but you know what?
yeah,
To answer that, um, it's essentially like breaking the caterpillar out of its cocoon before it's strong enough to do so itself. You
yeah,
killing
yeah, yeah.
it.
Actually, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that. But I mean, because I mean, we could talk about pain, being a teacher, and all that stuff. Which,
Right.
for the most part, I'd like to think all of us are old enough and of a certain level of intelligence. We know that to be true without having to be told. One would hope. Um, but there are a lot of us, not saying us in particular or anybody in chat, but there are a lot, both male and female, who seem to have a tendency to want to save people or spare people
Right.
from the lesson that's supposed to be learned from pain. And
Right.
I think those those people bother me more, and I don't mean in a negative way. Just they make me think about them more than because generally somebody who doesn't learn from the lesson of pain is just a fool, and
Yeah,
you can simply walk away from them. But people who have a tendency to want to like save people from the pain and the lesson of the pain,
a fool creating more fools.
yeah, pretty much, and it's us leading into like what do you call it? There used to be a phrase for it, savior complex. There you go.
Gotcha.
And those people creep me out more. And I'm saying that as somebody who used to be one.
I got you.
So
No, I got you. I got you. They are a danger. They're a danger to society
well,
because
they'll put an entire group at risk for the sake of saving somebody who should have already learned the lesson or needs to go through the lesson.
right.
Those people make me nervous.
Yeah, because what it ends up doing is it creates a, what's the word I'm looking for? An infectious um it creates an infectious culture of trying to spare people from pain to help them grow. Yes,
Oh,
enabler. That's
thank you,
it.
Chank. Yeah, thank you, Chuck.
Thanks, Chet.
Yeah, thank
Yes.
you. Yeah, and then, yeah, enabler is definitely better than
Yes.
say. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was both, but I think the vast majority fall
Yeah.
into what he said, enabler.
Yes, enabler. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, and enabling them by trying to spare people from pain, it does. It keeps them from growing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it prohibits their growth. So they're they are a menace, and which is why you can't you don't want to you can't stop that read like rod. And like I said, it doesn't only have to be that read like rod doesn't have to be in physical form. You have mental and emotional pain as well to learn and grow from.
Oh yeah, yeah, it has to be. As a matter of fact, I mean, you'll see that in any therapy session for an intervention.
Mm,
I mean, that's one of the first things they tell you. If you're the parent, the brother, the sister, the wife, the child, the girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever's in addiction, man, you got to let it go.
right.
No matter how much they beg you, no matter how much they scream, you got to let them suffer because that's they have to get it. And like I said, pain is going to be the way.
Yeah, yeah. Brother Sigma, welcome to the panel, sir.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Oh, hey
Not
Doc, how's you
much.
doing?
No, not much, not much.
Wait,
Good to
wait,
see you, Isaac.
you laughed at me.
Ah,
What did I say?
yeah. Hey, good to be seen.
Nah, Lars, I was just laughing. Just you saying Doc and everything, cause
I always
I,
call you
de-
Doc.
I know it's something I gotta get used to. I definitely am not no Doc, but maybe a eugenist. But
Uh,
Yeah, I guess I fall in that category.
Yeah, man. Look, man. We're old school up in here. So back in the day, you didn't need a piece of paper to be acknowledged as a doctor. How about that?
that is true. That is true.
And if they don't like it, fuck them if they can't take a joke. No, anyway,
Yeah. Hey, no, I agree with you. Hey, it'll be all right.
but that's how it was back in the day. You didn't need a piece of paper.
Right.
A learned man was a learned man. That's all it was to it.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. So, Dr. McCoy, what are your thoughts on the topic of pain and what was said in the last stream?
Yeah, honestly, I agree with everything. My honest opinion, if there's no pain, there's no growth. So, for people who feel like they can get through life without experiencing some sort of trials or tribulation, I mean, you definitely living in a fantasy world. But the difference is, once you experience pain, how do you react to it? Because
Yes.
unfortunately, you got some people where they'll take that pain and jump off of it, use it as a jump board for victimization, even though
Mm.
that pain was not intended to be a victimization. But, you know, some people, they just need something to kind of blame the whole world for their incompetence.
Well, I think that kind of goes back. How do what was it? I'm sorry. Give me a second.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
James Baldwin. There you go.
Okay.
It kind of goes back to something James Baldwin has said before about how you think your pain and heartbreak are unprecedented in the
Yeah,
history of the
like
world,
nobody,
in the
right?
history of the world, and then but then you read, you know what I mean? So
uh,
yeah, so I think that kind of falls back into, at least I think it does, into what Sigma was just saying about victimization, because in order to become a victim, I think that's one of the key factors you need to take that mentality. You have to have a thought process that you are the only person in the world who's going through this, and nobody else could possibly understand you, and you're the only one who's ever done it.
along with the fact that you don't care to hear if anybody else has gone through it either.
Yeah, exactly. So
but but yeah, that was a great point there, Sigma, to intertwine in with that victimization point. That was an angle that we had not brought up yet, so that was very
yeah,
great.
yeah, that was really good.
Like, to me, that's just how I see it. It's like you're going to experience pain in some form or fashion. It's just how are you going to respond to it? Are you going to use it as a growth, or are you going to use it as another means of continued cycle of failure? And
Right.
for me, when you have a lot of people that want to use it as a continued cycle of failure, it's just like that's not the whole point of pain. Pain is something that, like, for me, there's two ways you can learn from pain. You either learn it from experience, or you learn
Mm,
it from watching other people's experience.
yes.
Mhm.
And to me, when you can watch someone else go through whatever pain that is, that should be a clear cut sign like, you know what? Maybe I probably don't want to go down that same route that they're going through. But then at the end of the day, there's an African proverb that says, if you try to teach someone the right thing and they don't heed your teaching, you let adversity teach them. Or translation, you let pain teach them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, life can hit them a lot harder than I can.
yeah. Always, yeah, always.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's something that people need to think about. Yeah, you can. I mean, it just goes hand in hand with that quote. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. And it's the quotes that the quote that I I spoke, on pain, and then quotes from Eisen and Bleach that uh, the philosophical things that they said, are the whole reason. They're some of my favorite villains because of how you can dissect the profound things that they say, and use them to apply to your life for your own personal growth.
And
Mhm.
it's some you mentioned. I know, Lawrence, you'll agree with me on this. Ain't it something how a lot of villains, depending on what shows, comics you read, and everything, their philosophy or philosophies are more in line with reality than the so-called heroes and protagonists of those particular series. Like, especially growing up now, when I was a kid, it was like, nah, there's no way I can relate to these villains. They just got darkness in them, and so to speak, they just can't relate to people. Now, being a grown man, looking back, it's like, you know what? I can actually relate to these villains more so than the protagonists.
Yeah, well, back in the day, yeah, absolutely. The stuff they doing now is a hot mess.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely not today's villains.
yeah. Well, because they fail to understand that at the end of the day, everybody's a villain,
hmm
Mm,
including the hero. They're just one bad day away.
That's
mm,
true.
You know what I
That's
mean?
yeah,
true.
I mean,
yeah.
this is why you have the balance you do. This is why Mr. Fantastic and Doctor Doom are equal in intelligence and capability. This is why Batman, for all his attempt to try and keep everything in order, Joker represents pure chaos. I mean, it's an opposite balance kind of thing. And yet, for all intents and purposes, they're the same. They're the same person, just two sides of a different two
Of the
different sides
same coin.
of the same coin. Yeah. So yeah, I get that. I absolutely get that. I think this is why. I think this is why, unfortunately, the vast majority of people nowadays has a tendency to be more in line with the villain of the story.
Yeah.
We can cheer for the Avengers all we want to, but everybody loved Thanos
Well, and,
because he was right.
yeah, and you know the thing is too. Um, I've always kind of had a liking for certain. It wasn't just any type of villain, but the more profound mastermind villains who, who made you question what you thought was right.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm.
That's why after the 80s and the 90s, after John Byrne redid Lex Luthor, that's why Lex Luthor became more of a more I mean he was always Superman's number one enemy, but he became more profound to me because what John Byrne did is he took Superman to represent the physical pinnacle of what humanity could be, while Lex Luthor represented the mental um perfection of humanity and what it could be. And if you look at Lex, let's be real, he was probably more realistic than Superman ever will be. Superman comes in with as sort of a messiah type character, while Lex Luthor is a man who refuses to let somebody outside the scope of his universe dictate to him how that universe shall be. He's just not having
which
it.
is pretty much everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. But especially towards Superman, because it's like, dude,
Yeah,
this
because
is
he's
our
not even
planet.
human.
This is our planet. You ain't coming in here telling us how to run things. You just where you can fly. You can no. Let me show you what we could do, and then you know what I'm saying. But like I said, and I think for me, the best representation, at least with comics, has always been Doom and Reed Richards. It's always been Doctor Doom and Mister Fantastic. I would say hot on their ass would be Xavier and Magneto.
See, yeah, that was my favorite. I always read X-Men more than Fantastic Four, but I will say I did like Doom and
Mhm.
Fantastic. But
Because I mean,
Magneto and Xavier were awesome to me.
well, there's a reason why the analogy to them is Martin Luther King Jr. versus Malcolm X. I mean, there's a reason for that. I mean, it's a perfect analogy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you see it from both ends where Luther also had a god complex, which was challenged by someone with what he lacked. But yeah, we know that.
yeah.
but but the interesting thing is where Malcolm wants to find that peaceful coexistence, yada yada yada, which would be Xavier versus
No, that would be
I'm about to
Martin.
say that's more like
uh,
Martin Luther.
what did I say?
You said Malcolm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wow. Oh wow. Sorry about that. Xavier matching along with Martin Luther King Jr. was under
Right.
the sense of trying to find a coexistence and a peaceful shared reality.
Hmm.
Where Magneto, without doubt, was Malcolm X, is my people first, and that's something that a lot of people get confused too, because they used to always make the assumption that Magneto wanted to destroy humanity, he hated humanity.
No.
That
Oh
made
no.
no sense because mutants themselves are just an offshoot of the same humanity. So why would he, you know what I mean? Why would he want to destroy them?
Magneto just
He's
knew that they
my
should be the
people.
ruling class.
Actually, that went back and forth over the years, depending on who was writing him.
Okay.
But for the most part, his theory was because there were moments in his history where I don't give a fuck about humanity no more. I just want to save
Yes,
my
Zero.
people.
Yes,
Just,
Zero.
just
Magneto was right. He was not that bad at all. He was
oh
not
yeah,
bad
yeah,
at all.
Magneto was definitely right. Magneto was definitely right. But it was all about protecting my people, saving my people. I don't give a damn about humanity. I go do what you want to. Just leave us alone. You
Yeah.
know, and I mean
Right.
he
He tried
you know
that for a while.
right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So depending on who the writer was, because sometimes they did do it the other way, where he just hated all humanity and wanted to destroy him. But I think the best example of him was the other one, where it's like it's just about my people, man. I don't care
Yeah,
what y'all
yeah.
do.
I agree.
Yeah, actually, evolve or die is actually apocalypse. That's actually apocalypse. Evolve or die. Um, but 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 but
And more evolved for his purposes too.
yeah, I guess. But the interesting thing about it is when you look at Magneto, especially in comparison to everybody else we named,
Mhm.
that 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 is a really good example of pain.
Right.
growing up as a child in Auschwitz, watching his family get killed, surviving that,
Yeah,
not to mention everything else he's gone through over the history of
yeah,
the character. That's pain. And
yeah.
like you said, you either use it and get better, um, because you said something earlier, Sigma, about people who like to keep repeating pain. Um, I I'm not sure if it applies, but it could easily be somebody who likes to keep going through it over and over. It could simply be somebody who wants to play the role of a martyr too.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Exactly.
I
Cause
mean,
yeah.
besides the victim thing, I mean, there are
Right.
people out there who like to play the martyr role. So,
Or just the other option too, that they're just that screwed up in the head.
I
well, if
get
they,
they're
it.
they
well,
seek out their own demise
well,
over.
actually, if they're twisted in the head, then that would lead more to like sadomasochism
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
my point.
Like you
Exactly.
or
you
masochist or whatever term we're using.
Right.
right. Like you have some individuals where they will literally look for altercations or chaos just to prove they're still victimization or still uh, 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 need that sense of pain in order to have that negative feeling.
Yeah,
So, like, there, I was watching a video not too long ago on SKC's where there was a guy who had an altercation with the police and something that could easily have been de-escalated to where it could easily have like gone a different way because this guy was intent on trying to make something happen. It just escalated for no reason, and to
the black guy,
me,
right?
yeah, yeah, the
Because
black guy.
I've actually seen that multiple times on camera. I've seen people do that.
Right, and to me, it's just like that's the mentality of using pain as a recurring cycle of negativity, rather than using it to learn from it. It's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this again, or maybe I should improve some aspect of my life where I don't have to go through this again. It's
Well,
just more.
here's my question to you. I get the point you're trying to make, um, but my question is this: is that really what they're doing, or are we looking at because I've like I said, I've seen a couple of videos like that caught on camera. People like that. Excuse me, people like that caught on camera. Hey Yuri, what's up? But I don't get what you're saying. When I look at them, what I see is somebody trying to create a case for a lawsuit, or you know what I mean, or something like that. I don't see them as somebody who's trying to learn or trying to de-escalate. It's almost like they want it to happen so they can say, look what the police did, take them to court, get some money, that kind of thing.
Right, that's what I'm getting at with that. I think maybe we just said it differently, but it's the same
Oh, okay.
thing.
I'm sorry.
Oh no. But yeah, it's the same thing where they're purposely looking for chaos or purposely looking for some way of making a mountain out of a molehill. Just for the aspect of creating some sort of pain.
Yeah.
Also, to the point that you were bringing up, Sigma. Also, the other key part that Ray brought up in the chat is accepting the pain you cause to yourself. Most of those people don't accept that they actually cause the pain that they're going through in that victimization mindset. So,
That's a whole different subject in and of
yeah,
itself.
it is.
I,
It is
I,
a whole different subject.
I slightly disagree with you, Zero. Uh, I
Which one?
think
On the
it's
last comment he made?
yes, the last one. If a mutant existed today, I think that at first he would be exalted at first, and then they demand he shares power somehow. I I don't disagree. I just think it's a slight shift in my mind. Um, it would depend on what that mutant looked like. To be
Yeah,
honest with you,
Yeah, not only
because in this world, if a mutant showed up that was black that had that kind of power, it would be straight out the gate. We must destroy him. We
I,
can't let that.
Well, no, no,
I
no,
was
no,
about
no, no. I'm gonna tell you what he. Hey,
Either
if you
that or they take
look,
him in and experiment on him. That's
that's what they're gonna do. Yeah, he gonna be a
yeah.
test subject for the CDC.
But they got to catch him. But yeah. But outside of that, I agree with you. I just think depending on what that mutant looked like would make a big difference in.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, Zero. They would desire that
Yeah,
power over the looks.
yeah.
That's why I think he would just automatically end up being a test subject.
Yeah. Mm.
And ugly people are basically mutants.
Yeah. But yeah, but like I said, as far as it goes for pain, man, I think at least today, um, either the vast majority of people aren't learning from the pain and just repeating the same crap over and over again, or, which is probably more accurate, they're trying to avoid pain at all costs, and that's never a good thing.
Or it could be a combination of them. And also, then the other thing that goes right along with it, you just have people just not wanting to accept the responsibility that the pain they're going through, 99% of it is they're the cause of it.
Yeah,
I think usually that's the first thing.
yeah. Zero. As far as humanity, the first question you got to ask yourself is, why worry about beating him? What makes us think he would want to stay around us anyway? I know if I could, I'd get off this planet as quick as I could.
Well, heck, I guess it's you definitely have a different outlook being you've been around these people for.
Ah, yeah, I
Having
guess.
the experience of being around them, yeah.
But as to what you said, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's like every time I look at somebody, it's like as soon as it seems like it's starting to get a little tough, they just quit. They're out. And don't get me wrong, you expect a certain percentage of people to be that way, but the percentages just keep increasing as time goes on, to the point that nobody seems to want to go through pain. I don't understand that. I mean, pain does more than just teach you a lesson. Pain teaches you a lesson. Pain teaches you common sense. Pain teaches you courage. I mean, it has a multi-functional capability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's something. It's something, Lawrence, you mentioned, because it's almost like the same dichotomy of being liked versus being respected. When
Okay.
when you're trying so hard to be liked by everybody, you're essentially trying to avoid pain. You want to avoid all the negativity, so to speak, of not being liked and not being, so to speak, the attention from everybody. So you go through all the struggles and bending backwards to have people like you, versus being respected. You've already went through pain, and you know that you can't make everybody like you, but you can have people respect you for what you do.
Right.
So I think, like, with that dichotomy you just gave, yeah, you have people that want to try to avoid pain at all costs, and try to make it seem like, well, if I just do this, if I just follow the book or whatever type of script, this should work. Not realizing that life itself is not black and white. There's a huge gray area, and it comes with pain. It's part of this reality.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say something to that, but it would have been redundant. So I just, but yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah.
And
I just find it amazing how you have some grown individuals that are so worried about being liked and so worried about having another person like them, when you yourself, you don't like everybody. So why would you expect everybody to like you when you can't even return the same favor?
Well, to be fair, every single person in existence goes through that. The question is how and when do you outgrow it? You know
And
what I
True.
mean? Because
Very true.
and I think I've said this before, but I had to explain that conversation to my daughters when they were younger because it's a very strange dichotomy as a human being. We spent our childhood and young adulthood trying so desperately not to be the outsider, to fit in, because we don't want to be
Hmm.
picked on, made fun of, whatever. But as soon as we become adults, we work so hard to maintain our individuality and to prove that we're different than everybody else that sometimes we go through extremes with it, depending on who you are, where you are, with the situation. But that's always been a human thing. It's a very strange thing. I mean, you'll hear people like my uncle. When I turned 40, one of the first things he said to me is, "Okay, so you reached the age now, you ain't give a fuck about what nobody else think." I mean, it's just a human thing.
yeah.
I and we
Wow. I mean, they think that it's got to
yeah,
be that late.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's because you hit 40, you're over the hill, you've reached a certain point in your life, you don't have to care about what anybody thinks anymore or do what you want to do. And I've heard that from a lot of people. And like I said, that's for me, that was like 15 years ago. But
Well, I
so
mean,
but
it must take.
it's
Oh, go right ahead, Lawrence.
no. I was gonna ramble. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I guess it came early for me because once I hit my mid 20s, I could care less what other people think. It,
Well,
to, to,
it took me a little longer. I think by the time I figured it out, I was about maybe 33
Damn.
at the time. 33 at the time. Well, you got to understand.
I'm not trying to be funny.
No. I know you weren't. But you got to understand. You're talking about being a boomer raised by another boomer.
Mm.
hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And then on top of because like I said, my mother had me. She had me at like 2021. So I kind of fell in that late end of it. But like I said, you got her, then you had uncles, aunts, yada yada yada. So the crap they did to me in my head, it took me a while to get past. I started to break out of it when I got in the military, but that didn't help very much because back then the military had a certain way of
Doing things.
doing, yeah, for lack of a better term, because they were still into that thing about honor, code, loyalty, which
Ah.
I'm 100% with when it comes to the man to my right and to my left. I'm good with that. But when they start pushing that mentality to you about how to treat women, or
Yeah, don't
because
work.
Just other people in general you don't even know.
exactly, well, because
It don't work.
they were still caught in the 1950s 1940s mentality on how we're supposed to
Yeah.
interact with each other, treat each other. Yeah, even though that wasn't what was going on,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So there was still that,
I
but
guess. Oh, my bad.
but for the most part, like I said, it started to break up. I would say maybe around 21, 22 when I started like, okay, something's not right about what they taught me. And by the time I actually got to the point of like literally not giving a rat's flying ass, that started at about 33. And then, like I said, when I turned 40, my uncle said that to me. And I remember looking at him saying, okay, well, then we can end this now. Fuck you. Goodbye. And then he just looked at me. I was like, what? He's like, well, I mean, damn. I was like, well, you said I don't have to care, so I don't need you anymore. Bye bye. And I walked. So, I mean, but like I said, it started breaking up in my head about 21, 22, and I got to the final analysis was about 33. And after actually implementing it 100% probably kicked off when I was about 35.
Dang.
Which
guess-
is what culminated in my uncle at 40. So
Okay, I got you. And I guess for me, golly, that's why I said, dang, whenever you said your age. I guess for me, because early on, I always preferred, I just wanted to be left alone for the most part when I was a kid. So whenever it got to it, whenever I couldn't get people to leave me alone, they just bother me. My mindset automatically flipped. Well, damn it, if they don't like me, I'm gonna make them fucking hate me.
You have to understand, and I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah, I know.
But here's the deal: some of us are slow.
Well, I guess some of and I was just gonna say different, but
I'm being dead ass. Some of us take longer than others. I was one of those. I got no shame in it because, see, for me, I don't care if I took 1 year or 100.
Right.
I'm just happy I got
You got there. Right. I agree.
you know
I agree.
I'm about to say,
Yeah,
for you,
so-
Lawrence, at least you had that inspective within your mind that it was going to progress you to that point. But let's just be honest. There's some people, they will never get to that point, even to their deathbed.
Well, that was one of the difficulties I had, because remember, like I said, when I was a child, there was a lot of stuff they did to me growing up. I had to like really take time. I mean, I remember when I was younger and I used to hang in my room, comics, science. That was my thing. I didn't care about girls, so they would automatically go into he must be gay. So I had to deal with that.
Right. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Then from there, it started going into stuff like well, you always in your room, you're antisocial. Dude, it took me almost 20 decades for me to break out of the thought in my head that me being alone does not mean I'm antisocial. It just means I like my privacy and quiet.
Right.
I mean, they did a lot of fucking damage to me, and it took a lot of time to break through that. And I couldn't do it all at once. I would do it like one piece at a time. Let me come to an understanding that, because even now to this day, I still have moments when I'm by myself and people want to talk to me and I don't want to be bothered, that I feel bad for it. I feel like I'm being antisocial, and then I have to remind myself, no, that's what the fuck they did to me. You see what I'm saying? So like I said, this, and don't get me wrong, there's still stuff I'm working on to this day.
Yeah. And yeah, my bad. I wasn't trying to make it seem like that I was thinking any less of anybody. I was just realizing.
Oh no.
I guess I was just saying. I guess I was realizing how much different I was as far as how earlier it was just kind of like, I don't.
Oh yeah, most definitely, because you're like my cousin William. My cousin William figured it out at 12. At like 11, 12 years old. But I didn't meet him till I was 14, 15 when his family married into mine.
Gotcha.
And that's what, so he was already there.
Yeah.
But for me, I had 14, 15 years of damage in my head, and he was doing his own thing. Yeah. But like I said, as time went on, because he'll tell you, when we first met, he hated me.
I remember you telling me that. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember the first time we met. I came flying down the stairs. I thought I got a cool new cousin, somebody to hang out with, because I was the only guy in the house. My brother was like 5. Everybody else were grown-ass women. I was tired of being around women. And he came home. He looked at me like, the fuck are you? It's like, I'm your new cousin Larry. It's nah, man. And then he went in the door and closed the door and locked it. I mean, that's the first time we fucking met.
Man, that's cool.
That's the first time we met. But like I said, over time, we got to know each other, yada yada yada, because we had a brownstone, so we were on the top floor, and then his mom and all that moved into the one below us. Yeah, it took him time, and I got to be honest with you. If it wasn't for the shit with him growing up in my teenage years, I'm telling you, I'm not fucking with you. I'm dead ass serious. If it wasn't for him, you'd be talking to another platinum or Surism right now. That's real shit.
Right.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not picking on nobody. I'm just keeping the shit real. If it wasn't for him and Jonathan and Casey, this be a whole different person you'd be talking to. No, actually, you wouldn't be talking to me because I'd be like them.
Gotcha.
But if it wasn't for them, that's the shit I would have fell into, because that's how the fuck they was raising me. It's always about the pussy. Don't give a fuck about nothing but the pussy. Chase the pussy all the time. Pussy's everything. Pussy's in control. Do what the pussy say. Love the pussy. Pay for the pussy. Give the pussy anything. I mean, all that shit. They was giving me all that, bro. Because remember, the first time I wanted to like really learn about sex, I went to my uncle Alfonso. And he looked at me and said his exact words. I still remember it to this day. Look, man, either you fuck a girl or you don't fuck her, but make sure you use a condom, because you ain't going to be bringing no kids up in here. Turn around and walk the fuck out the door. That was my birds and the bees conversation.
That's right.
And then one time, and I mean, you want to take the embarrassment to the next level. Like I said, I wasn't into girls anyway. I was just asking out of curiosity. So I guess he must have said something to my mother. And like maybe a couple of months later, my mother sitting me in the living room talking to me about dick. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, well, you're a young man. You want me to call you Uncle Anthony? He can get a girl for you, pay for it. So yeah, I'm like, oh, come on. Seriously? That's how we gonna do this about the birds and bees? Your first option is to offer me a prostitute? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, this is the family I grew up in, man.
Right.
I mean, they were off the chain, bro. They were off the chain. I'm telling y'all, it's a whole different kind of beast back in the 60s and 70s, man. They were crazy. They were fucking crazy.
Uh, well, excuse us, but welcome to the panel hour.
Oh, geez, I'm so sorry, Yuri. How you doing, man?
What's
It
good,
was
guys?
good.
What's good? Yeah. Shout out to Sigma and shout out to the birthday boy in the house. What's up, bro?
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Old man
happy birthday,
status.
Isaac.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Shout
thank
out
you,
to
thank
Warren
you.
too. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's interesting. If go ahead and put Ed Unchained. He just put a comment up. Can you put that on the screen?
Yeah, I
bro?
can put it back up.
I just want to kind of talk through that. Yeah. See, a lot of people are still trying to figure this out because technically, what Ed doesn't understand, and I'm going to kind of tell him, is there's nothing wrong with you being a late bloomer when the information that was given to you wasn't the right information from the jump.
Right.
When people tell you information that's not built for your personality, it's your job as you're doing to figure out where the boundaries are. And people are always going to be, oh man, he like this, he like that, whatever. Because most of these people got all the talking to do and nothing but the talking to do.
Right.
They don't. So when it comes to the pain dynamic, right?
Mhm.
Pain dynamic comes from a couple different places. It comes from number one, you misreading the situation wrong. So there's a constant part of self discovery when it comes to pain. Why am I dealing with the pain that I'm dealing with? Right. So part of it's self discovery and understanding what life is trying to teach you. Number one. Number two, it has to do with the fact that pain is teaching you exactly who to cut off at an early position. Who to cut off at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Life is telling you that.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, when you're not really aware of that, you go into the same watering hole trying to get different results. And life is telling you, hey, man, you really ain't supposed to be dealing with people like this. Like they might tell you that they want the best for you and this, that, and the other. What else are they going to say? That's like the
Yeah.
most overused line that they could tell you. Right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, part of the issue is that a lot of people don't understand that certain people are supposed to be dealt with early. And what needs to really happen is for I'm going to make it really simple. If people aren't going in the direction that you want to go, and even if they're not going in the direction you're going, have no positive reinforcement towards the direction that you want to go, you have to deal with them like George W. Bush dealt with some of these terrorists. You're either with us or you're against us. Cut and dry, period. Because the thing is, if you try to have a middle ground on this stuff, life is going to keep teaching you that these people are not the people that you should expect anything from. And the longer you try to expect anything that's unacceptable from people that you're not supposed to accept anything from, the more that situation is going to repeat itself. And that's
Right.
really what makes a lot of people slow because they're trying to negotiate a relationship that's not supposed to be negotiated.
Yeah, and that even includes relationship with themselves.
Yeah.
This is they're constantly negotiating their emotions versus their logic or the proper thing to do. Because like with Ed Unchained, like that last part, like being social is a chore. I'm with you, dude. I mean, all this right now, I had to learn.
Yeah.
Because I was totally okay being in my room. I was absolutely okay with that.
And
And
shout out to Ed Unchained. The reason it's a chore for you, to be perfectly honest with you, is most of us deal with people who don't really understand what our triggers are, what our space requirements are, what
yeah,
our mental requirements
yeah,
are.
you're right. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
absolutely
None
right.
of that. There's nothing wrong with what you're saying because it comes from a situation of people not knowing what your needs are.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Look, like I can sit with you and Eisen and Lawrence and Sigma, and there's no social awkwardness or any kind of
Yeah.
introversion
Right.
because I'm secure in this environment.
Yeah.
But if you put me in some insecure environment where people's perspectives about me have to be questioned internally, I ain't gonna give them shit. I'm not
Yeah.
obligated to.
Yeah. Because even with my even if you take my family, it's radically different than when I'm with you guys. Radically different. See if I told you guys I'm gonna be out of touch for a week, I don't want to talk to nobody, I just want to focus on myself, there's no argument.
Of course not.
None. It's like, okay, well, when do you want us to start calling? Give me like 5-6 days. All right, cool. We'll check on you then. Yeah, because you check on me weekly. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But if it was my family, it'd be like, why? I mean, you can't just tell your family we can't call you. I mean, what's that supposed? I mean, you get all that shit, and they don't understand it. It's nothing personal. It's just a moment in time you want for you. I mean, it's just that there's no hidden agenda.
What's up, cowboy? Shout out to MOT.
What's it, MOT?
What's going on, man? I was just sitting here. I was listening earlier.
Hey, MOT.
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
But like I was saying, it's just weird. Because like I said, it's how can I put it? I guess that's one of the reasons why I'm very defensive about certain parts of this space and who I'm with. Because it's very rare to find other men who understand that part of you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So when it's threatened or challenged, to me that represents pain, and that pain comes out with me yelling, cursing, whatever it's going to be, whatever it's going to be at the moment. But that's another idea of pain, and that's one of the aspects of pain that could be good. It forces you to get up and defend. And to fight for that which you care for, because people seem to think, well, you fight for what you love. Actually, no, you fight for the fear of losing what you love, and that fear is pain. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't understand that, but that's the case.
Yeah, but people have to understand that this has already been illustrated. It's called Batman Gotham Knights.
Yeah, man.
Fighting through pain. You need to watch that. If you're going to watch this live stream, you need to Google Batman Gotham Knights Fighting Through Pain. And I'm talking about the short abbreviated version, because the actual thing, like, that's the only reason why I bought that whole DVD, was the pain version of that DVD. Was worth everything.
It was good, wasn't it?
Oh, God. It was so good. It was so good. But people need to see how they trying to carry so much weight, which was all the guns at the bottom of the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to recognize that that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to deal with your own pain. And when he went overseas and he did all the SYSBM shit, but when he got over there and he got in regular nigga trouble in SYSBM land.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you say that, because that goes back to the point I was making in the very beginning of this about how, when you said dealing with your own pain, that whole thing about trying to save people from their pain. That ain't your job. Your only job is yours, and you need to get it right.
And that's why she sent them away, because he wasn't ready to deal with his own pain. This was pain he wanted to go through. And you need to listen to like the last couple frames of the speech that she was talking about. It's like, this pain is some shit that you want to go through.
Yeah.
Like, I can't help you. You got to leave. You got to leave this place, because you didn't come here to learn. You came here to adapt. And this is not an adaptive place. An adaptive place is what you want, but we're getting past the pain. But he was like, well, I just want to carry the pain with me. It's like, this is not the place for that. You got to be able to move from here, because you're not going to be able to take us down your road. and that's what most people want to do because they haven't seen masculinity work. The only way that they've seen masculinity work is corrupt, destroy, compromise. They
Mhm.
never seen avoidance and success with avoidance and leave it alone forever. They
Right.
never seen that.
Right. And then there's the fact that people who have pain and whether good or bad doesn't make a difference. They just sit there in it all their lives.
Yeah,
Not good. Not neither going backwards, neither going forward. They're just like there. They just
high
live in.
reverse, high
They
reverse
li-
pain, man.
yeah. They
High
live in
reverse.
that pain in that one spot forever. Because that was one of the arguments I had Friday concerning my mother passing and family acting like how they act at funerals. I don't need to explain
Yeah.
that. But we got into this little thing about my relationship and her, and I was like, you know what, you guys failed her. You stand here and you talk all this nonsense. Oh, my sister's gone, yada yada yada. My aunt, my mother needed deep psychological fucking help. I said straight up out the gate. I said the first man she ever loved, which was my father, died a year and a half after having me. This is a woman who, when I was a child, I watched lay on the floor bleeding out because a burglar broke in and stabbed her to fuck up. Okay. This is a woman who married another guy who told her to her face, "You ain't nothing, you're ugly. I just married you for a green card." You got another motherfucker in the family who raped her when she was younger. Y'all motherfuckers have found every opportunity when you needed something to move in with her and live off of her and get food and have a roof over your fucking head. But you want to sit here and talk to me about you loved her. And they looking at me. I said, ask anybody, they'll tell you. My wife and I tried our damnedest to have her come with us because we knew she was gonna die around you motherfuckers because you wasn't doing shit. I said, you did. She was over 400 fucking pounds. You still feeding her greasy food. Nobody tells her to get the fuck up and walk and go outside. That's why she hated coming to our house because we made her work for it. We didn't do shit with a car. She wanted to go someplace. We made her walk with us. We made her do that work. She come over here. There was no greasy food. You ate what the fuck we ate straight from our garden. We don't play that here. That's why she stayed with all of y'all because she knew you enabled her. So fuck you and your heroic fucking identity and ideas that you did something. You ain't do shit. You killed my mother. And that's how I'm going to treat every single fucking one of you. And as far as I'm concerned, I will think of you as dead until my God in heaven makes it so. Peace out. That was last Friday. And I stand on that. I stand on that. I'm telling you right now, if the Most High came right now and told me I was wrong, damn my immortal soul before I change my position. Fuck them.
You know, Lawrence, I kind of have the same mindset when one of my cousins passed away earlier this summer. And I honestly, this is just me, but the church killed her. And
I agree.
To this day,
I don't even need the story. I agree.
Yeah, to this day, I hardly want anything to do with the members of the church because had she had a chance to get away from it, she probably would still be alive today.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just like my brother. I'm still up there trying to ease into it. Yeah, I just want to tell you something. What? Mom got it because of me. What the fuck are you talking about? Well, I went to visit Tanya and I caught the up there and I brought it back and we infected her. And I'm like, okay. He's like, well, I don't want you being mad at me. I don't care. I said, dude, when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. I mean, that's just all it is to it. I mean,
however it is. I mean, like some people step onto a plane for the first time and they die on the plane.
Yeah, exactly.
For the first time.
So I'm like, don't look for me to alleviate whatever guilt you're carrying. Because one, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Two, I don't think you should have it. And three, that's just the way life goes. I could be out in my backyard and start coughing and pass out right there and drop dead on the spot. Dude, I don't.
Right.
I had told myself I find it fascinating that none of you give a fuck about what I have to say, but all of you are desperate for my fucking approval. What the fuck is that about?
because
they're desperate for you being the productive person that's gonna bail them out. They're still holding on to that fleeting hope that somehow or some way you're going to moderate your position. That's on.
Oh well, you know what? That's okay. I mean, seriously, that's okay. Everybody's entitled to have their version of hope. That's cool. That's
And
cool.
Yeah, I mean, because hope is a religion itself, no matter
Yeah,
how it materializes.
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna do it, but I can't deny them the right to have it. So you know,
I'm an atheist. I have my own level of hope. It
yeah,
doesn't matter what religion that you come in contact with. Like right now, I'm in Kansas City, just left a church. Motherfuckers know I'm atheist. Why are you here? I
yep,
want to see what you motherfuckers are doing next to make up for all the shit that you never explained before. It's fine. It's fine. But I'm gonna keep an eye on you motherfuckers up close.
oh yeah. Well, they're watching me already because, like I said, my sister died 10 days before my mother from the same shit.
Mhm.
So I'm watching and I'm looking at all her kids, and I knew what I was looking for. And I was looking for her youngest son JT because I knew he was going to be in there doing everything. I just because he reminds me of me and William when we were younger. And I watched, and he did everything, man. He did everything. And then he is having some trouble with his fiance, and not in a bad way. They were just him trying to do everything for his mother's funeral and help his pops out, yada yada yada. He put himself in a bind financially, and I rode right up in there and I took care of it, and they lost their minds.
Mm.
That's what
Not,
I'm going through now.
not because I helped them, not because I helped them, but because I didn't help them.
Them.
Right.
That's what they were pissed about. They didn't
Yeah,
even
I'm
give
going
a
through the
damn
same thing now with my brother.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
it's
we
gonna be
talked about
pretty
that.
clear
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he's gonna be
Yeah.
out of here within a couple months.
Yep.
As soon as they move him from the 24-hour care facility to where they think that he's going to be moved to where they can get something out of it, I'm like, as soon as you leave this 24-hour care, you're gonna be out of here in 90 days.
Yep.
And
Mm.
they're like, and they're like, well, can I get something out of it? That's literally their response.
Yeah.
Can I still get something out of it within the 90 days? And it's like, no, he's out of here. That's what it is. And to them, it was like, well, I'm here for him. I'm like, but why did you come out here for him? You never had any type of relationship or anything else. And it's like, that's a pain. Like, I had to explain this shit to my younger brother. Dude, this is the pain that you wanted to see. You
Yep.
wanted to see these motherfuckers be fake as fuck in front of your face. You wanted to see this.
Yep.
You wanted to see that your strongest aunt or cousin or anything else was nothing but an actual person who was waiting for something that they wouldn't worth. This is what you wanted to see.
It's the same. It's the same thing with my brother. Lived his entire life off my aunt, then lived his entire life with my mother. And now that our mother's gone, this is an opportunity for this man who's 43 years old to finally go out on his own and do it on his own. What does he do? He calls his homeboy, and his homeboy lets him and his family move in with him and his wife. I'm like, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. I said, yo, you supposed to be his best man. You supposed to be leaving that nigga out on the road so he can learn that shit. This is a 43-year-old fucking man who with 2 fucking children, one's autistic, and he got no fucking receipts on survival. Not a one. Never lived a day in his life on his own. He's always had somebody cushioning his shit. This is gonna end bad. This is gonna end fucking badly. And there ain't shit I can do. And as a matter of fact, even if there was, I wouldn't. Because this is his journey.
Right.
Yeah,
And
like most of these people want to live out they future life on somebody's game save, man.
Yeah. I was like,
That's what it is.
James, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, yo, that's my best man, man. I can't leave him out there. Yo, you are taking him, 2 children, one who's autistic. I mean, not autistic, Down syndrome, and you're taking in the woman he's trying to fucking divorce because they going through some crazy shit.
Oh no!
You put all that shit in your house, and you're telling me Yvette, and Yvette's James's wife. You telling me Yvette said that's okay? And he's like, well, we were going to be in Costa Rica for a couple. I said, yo, I understand that, but let me tell you something. That pretty house you got in St. Cloud, that money you got, those chiropractic offices you opened, I get you, doc. I get you. I get what you're doing. You have a little extra. This is your homeboy. You want to help him out, but I'm telling you, you're not helping him, man. You're not helping him. I mean, literally, think about what I'm saying. This nigga grew up with my aunt. Then from my aunt moved into a place with my mother, who shared in the bulk of the fucking bills. And now here he is moving in with his best friend. That nigga don't have no receipts. He's never been on his own.
Well,
How the fuck is he gonna learn if he keeps getting the mooch off fucking people?
yeah, sounds like to me in this situation, James gonna fall in love with girl.
Yo, because I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, yo, y'all tripping. Because even my idiot uncle Sylvester was like, well, they can always come stay with me. Yeah, okay. Let me tell you something, man. Having a Down syndrome, a mentally handicapped child, is no easy fucking thing.
Not at all.
And this motherfucker is doing it with no assistance from the fucking mother of the child. No fucking job. And my mother was the vast majority of the person who babysat that child and trained her. Now my mother is gone. That child no longer has the resources to understand what she's become accustomed to. Because when you have a mentally handicapped child, you have to create a rhythm and a pattern. You have to.
24 hours a day.
Exactly. So when she gets up at 6 a.m, I know something, she's off in her head because she's not seeing my mother anymore. I know this for a fact. This is what they do.
Yeah.
So you're doing that. Then you got a chick who you're planning to divorce, who's sending money that should be for the child and the family to a nigga she's fucking. James, why did you let this motherfucker move in your house, man? Dude, you're asking for pain. You're begging for that shit. I remember because I remember when he told me, he said, yo, just want to let you know, man, we're gonna be going to stay with James. Yeah, so he said, well, I didn't want to upset you. Upset me about what? He said, well, that didn't move into your place. Whoa, what? He's like, well, yeah, we're gonna go stay with James. All of you? He's like, yeah. I said, so what the fuck you apologizing to me for? He said, well, I didn't want you to think that I was dismissive of you, by not moving in with you. Oh no, nigga, we don't do that here. he looked at me. I said, yo, Chuck, I'm not joking, man. I don't do that. People don't move in with me. I don't do that, man. so appreciate the apology, but it wasn't necessary. That's how I found out he was moving in with James. I'm like, yo, Jay, I called James like, dude, nah, man. This is not good. This is not good. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm venting. I'm using y'all for therapy. I'm sorry.
I'm going through something similar, so what situation we're in.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. You can't stop people from going through pain. They have to have it. They have to.
Yeah.
What's good, Aegon?
Yeah, what's good, Aegon?
Hey, what's up, Aegon? But yeah, they got to have the pain, man. You can't save them from it. Because when you do, you get my brother. Let's be real.
Yeah. Or something worse.
Actually, it could be worse.
Yeah,
it could be worse.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the mother bounces. And like I said, if it goes bad and he's not with James anymore, this is like I said, this is a man with a son and a daughter who's got Down syndrome, dude. 43, you should have more skills than that, bro.
A lot more.
Yeah, I mean, your family's lives depend on it. It's hard enough with regular kids. You got a special needs kid. I said, yo, man, did you get everything set up? What do you mean? We're talking about what I mean. Did you go down? You do the Social Security thing? Did you put her on the Special Olympic stuff? Did you get somebody to represent you so you can, get a part of the programs? Have her associate? No, I ain't do none of that. What? I said, why? I said, how old is the child? Well, she's 8. Dude, are you kidding me? In 8 years, you couldn't think enough of your own fucking child to go down there and do shit. If not for your child, for yourself. Because if something happens to you, who's gonna take care of her? We already established the mother ain't interested. I mean, come on, man. You 43, bro. I mean, that's common sense shit. Nobody should even have to explain that to you. Well, I got her on the thing where all her health, her medical stuff is covered. What medical stuff? Well, for, her annual physicals and all that good stuff. Chuck, man, you got to get into all the programs, man. There's government assistance, there's government grants, everything, man. Everything. You don't know if this is going to lead into her eventually becoming physically disabled in addition to the mental thing. You don't know. So you get grants to get the house, wheelchair accessible, get certain shit put in, get monthly stipends, to help her out. That would help you out because you taking care and the whole 9 yards. I said, you got your fucking 14-year-old son taking care of his 8-year-old sister because you don't know what the fuck you doing.
Yeah.
And I said, my dude, how could you do that? That's the shit they did with me, with you and Tanya. That's why I had no fucking childhood. Because niggas left me in charge of everybody else's fucking mistakes. Well, I'm not a mistake. You know what I mean, man. Don't be a dumbass. Don't be a dumbass, man. Bottom line is mom had each one of us with a different nigga around the course. She was a hoe. Bottom line is she had the two of y'all and left my ass in charge to take care of her fucking problems. That is what it is.
Yeah, but Lawrence, but only thing you have to do is understand that once, rather than a lifetime of not understanding that fact all the time that your ass is here.
That's true. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Understand it once.
But like I said, he didn't even get a chance to go through the pain because yet again, somebody came and rescued his ass. So it's like, yo,
That's right.
y'all motherfuckers.
And these
are crazy.
people who want to rescue you temporarily from your pain cannot rescue you a long term of time from your pain. They are here to actually get you out of the actual mud, but don't want to take your ass to the guy's actual motherfucking center to where you can get your truck fixed and everything else. They're just here to winch you out. Winch niggas, man. Winch niggas.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to winch you out the mud, but once you're on the side of the road, yeah, well, that's somebody else's job. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you just gonna winch me out the far out field because of you know how winches work? 200 feet of cord. They could just go out on the actual dry shit and just winch you out. But once you come to the actual road, they call somebody else out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be the same person who winch you out the shit. They're just prepared to go to another group of motherfuckers who's not gonna help you. How you get off the road, that's your job. Once they get you to the road, that's somebody else's job.
Oh man, all I know is, yo man, more power to him, bro.
Yeah,
and like somebody was making fun of me about. It's like, oh man, look at you. What are you talking about? Oh, you still care? Well, of course I care, you dumbass motherfucker. Why you think I'm pissed? Of course I care. That's obvious. I said, regardless of anything, I don't want to see anybody get fucked up. So I mean, come on, man, stop being an idiot. I'm a grown man. I'm fully aware of my emotional function. I know I still care. That's why I'm pissed off, because I care.
The problem
he's still my brother.
But Lawrence, but the people who don't care have a different level of emotional functionality around people who do.
Well, true. That's
and
true.
It's like,
because there are people that I truly don't fucking care. But like I said, uncles, aunts, all that good stuff, could care fucking less. But that's my brother, and the only one I've got. So yeah, I do have a tendency to be a bit emotional compromised, especially when he's my baby brother. So I get that. Like I said, I'm not stupid. I'm fully aware.
Yeah,
Right.
That's what it is, man. And it's like people think that when you come into a situation, it changes you. No, it only recognizes who you are in the actual circumstances of the things you're actually dealing with.
Yeah.
And this is why your supposedly strong aunt that you never seen testing on anything turned out to be what the fuck she turned out to be.
Yeah.
Or brothers or anything else, because you never seen them be tested. You had an idea of them being personally vetted until you see the actual vet process. It don't match up to how everybody even looked up to them.
Oh no. I mean, for everybody, that vet process is lame. I mean, it is lame as hell. And like I said, and the same thing applies with her. A lot of trauma, man. A lot of trauma. A lot of trauma. People just want to bury that shit deep. Because, like, for her, she was gang raped in college. So there's that foundation. You understand what I'm saying? The thing with the who she married. The only reason they have money, and I think I told you this, because he got in an accident and lost 3 fingers. So the company paid him out. And for that, she thinks she's done something. I mean, this motherfucker lost 3 fingers, but she thinks she did something to get the money. I mean, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, because she was there with him through all that shit, and she never had to actually, sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
I mean, this motherfucker looks like he's permanently hitchhiking, but yet she did something.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that to sound as bad as it did. But I just realized what I said. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the one with the fucking deformity, but she act like she did something, and she spent all of it the way she wanted to, and he let her.
Of course, and that's another thing that it comes down to.
Yep.
It's kind of like most people don't understand that the act is the act. The response to the act is how you should judge people.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And I got no time for it. None. And I'm sorry again. I made you guys my therapy session.
No, you good. Hey, it happens over here. You good.
No.
But we're gonna get ready to close down here. I do got
I'm
some other
not
stuff.
finished.
I know.
I'm just playing. I'm just joking.
You good. It's all good.
And I'm gonna have a live stream tonight called about we have to go over this because most people don't understand that the villages. Like it takes a village. Like I need to let people know the villages that I joined and how it did not work out. And most people are joining the same type of villages today, and they need to understand that these villages are not going to help you either. I've already been through this. But this guy challenged me to a challenge to create a live stream that it only takes a village. It's one of the worst things that you could ever actually go across. I'm like, challenge accepted.
Wait. I'm sorry. He challenged you to do what?
Okay.
He challenged you to create a stream about the importance of choosing the proper village?
Correct.
Okay.
Is this a known YouTuber?
Nope.
But I like in my dark side voice from the Injustice series, challenge accepted.
Hey man.
Challenge accepted. And I'm like, dude, listen. Not only am I going to show you how you're wrong, I'm going to show you why you're wrong. Because, see, a lot of people don't let people know why they're wrong. It's like, look. Oh, I'm SYSBM. Are you SYSBM? He was like, yeah, I think I am. I'm like, you're not. Stop. Do not use the hashtag coming after you. Listen, let me tell you how they're coming for you. They're coming for you through your actual ignorance of how things work.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, that's all I can do is sigh, man. I mean,
it is. It really is.
It's like, well, I don't hear people talking about it every day. Like the correct answer doesn't need to be talked about every day with anybody. The correct answer only need to be regurgitated to people who are on the sideline, which where you are. He was like, I'm not on the sideline. I'm like, so how do you come to a very specific email address about dudes who are way past this, but you're not past this? Well, I just wanted to see the other side. Other side of what? Other side of Keisha? You serious? There's another side of you we need to understand. So it's like, I mean, so it's like, look, The problem isn't the fact that you don't have access to better people. It's the fact that you won't move to better people. That's the problem.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
No, because I mean yeah, that's a serious question. That's a serious question because like you said, you got options. You can go. You don't have to be around the people you're around. You don't.
Right.
Everybody has a choice. Everybody.
Like it's like the guy's like, man, I got my shit together. I'm like, well, why did you go back there once you got shit together? He was like, well, I don't think of went anywhere else. I'm like, I learned that. I left graduation night, 17 years old, straight off to the Air Force. Once I got around better options, I started acting like I was around better options for good. I did not want to go around the Keisha shit. The Keisha shit was there, but all those other options was like, you're not going after Keisha because we're going to water you down with real options.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, they was like, well, I feel like I'm letting my community down because I want to be around bad options. I'm like, bro, listen, stay over there with them. Be good.
Like I said, man, I don't know how y'all do it. Like I said, that's why I backed out. I'm yeah, man. I'm dead ass.
I get it.
Man.
No, I get it. No,
I said, I come here and I go to Hulk. That's it. I got burnt out, man.
I can't. I can't talk with them people either, man.
I'm done. I
hard,
don't. I can't talk to them. It's difficult to even hear them when they talk. Never mind interacting with them, just listening to them talk. I don't watching them when they interact with our people because it never ends well. I tapped out, man. I tapped out a while ago, actually. It's been a minute, Isaac.
Lawrence had a coming to Jesus moment a while back.
It was. It really was.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah. Because I think after we were on here and you said that to me, I just look, man, you got to understand. The age you are, your brain's working different than everybody else's right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, you're at a point in your life where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said,
I had to tell that to a person. I had to tell it to a person. It was like, well, when did you realize that you was in the wrong place? I'm like, the moment I left, the moment I went to a different spot where I didn't have to deal with this. And he was like, what if they weren't black? I'm like, motherfucker, they were black. They were called Ethiopians.
I knew you were gonna go there. I didn't know exactly. I didn't know for sure it was gonna be Ethiopia, but I knew it was gonna be somewhere over there. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was
coming. Like, are you sure? I'm like, listen, this is what I had access to in Mississippi. This is what I had access to in Texas. And this is what Ethiopians look like.
But the fact that the question even has to be asked or answered in that way is a problem. Because the thing is, the moment that you go from a dysfunctional environment to a functional environment, that's the reward in itself. Regardless of whatever it is, that's what it should be. But
the reward is limited though, because until you learn how to remove all the dysfunction you learned to fit into that functional one, that's going to be the challenge.
Right.
You get, like I said before, getting out is easy. It's just what you do once you get out.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're going to get out of there and take that fuckery somewhere else. Which we talked about many a times with SysBIM. You can go over there and chase ass all you want to, but like you and I talked about, Yuri, what you do here is not going to work over there.
100%.
100%. Same with John.
It's like saying you got an Arabian dating coach.
Yeah. Because a lot of brothers fail to understand that unlike here, fathers will chase your ass down the street with a machete over there.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
funny.
Sigma has brought up that point too in his streams before too. That
Yeah, yeah, that's how yeah,
SYSBM isn't for everybody.
yeah,
It isn't for everybody,
yeah,
and
brother,
No,
brother.
no,
everybody isn't for it.
Right.
yeah, but here's the problem. Like they want to make something that's completely generalized for everyone, and then you ask them, when have you separated and how long you separated from it, and then they're like, well, I can't
It's
I
Porky Pig.
Yeah, yeah,
Ain't got time
yeah
for Porky
yeah,
Pig.
fork
you,
on leghorn.
yeah. You need
Uh,
in order to break it, you at least one time in your life had to have spent at least a minimum of 1 year away from it. Minimum.
1 year.
See
Minimum,
that
minimum. It's got to be 1 year minimum. I don't care where you went, but you had to be away from that for at least 1 year minimum because it's going to take you that long. Because that's how it was for me when I went in the military.
see my thing is this: if you can't exercise the niggardry out of yourself, stay home.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's
Just
right.
stay home.
Plenty of places here for you. You can
Yeah, exactly.
fake it till you make it. Listen, there are plenty fake it till you make it villages that will accept you in total and in whole. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, as soon as we escort you, so what did you say? The actual tea ceremony was Japanese, and you're still acting like an uncultured reptile.
Oh
Dude,
no,
dude did not come back. It's like
no.
there is no actual tea ceremony for uncultured reptiles. You
There,
don't. You're one of them. It's fine. It's like we have so many other people that we can work with that we don't have to worry about you. And like most people here think that the society can't work without them. And it's like, bro, do you know how many places has worked without uncultured niggas?
Quite a
But
few.
MOT, he's right. You really have a bunch of these knuckleheads really believe that society will not function without them, and it's like, dude, society is why you're still alive today.
The idea of society is why you're still here.
that is
It's,
correct.
Exactly.
it's like, look, if society didn't exist, we wouldn't know where your mass burial would be located. It's
Yeah.
like we we are being more we are being far more acceptable of you than you are of us.
Oh,
Very
absolutely.
true.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
true.
yeah. That's always been the case, though. That's always been the case.
Society enables people like that to stay that way.
Yes, they do. They
Mm-hmm.
do. They absolutely do. And that's why I was saying earlier about the whole thing about pain. And like I said, it's one of two things. Either you sit there and you mire in it because you're either trying to be a martyr or you're literally looking for someone to come save you from the pain, which would be those enablers. You know what I mean? I mean, that's literally the foundation for the most part of the general concept on how people are going through life, at least in this country. You know, I shouldn't have no pain. I shouldn't have to work for it. Everything should be given to me. Wada wada wada.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So you know, and like I said, for me, like we were talking about a second ago, my brain, at the age I'm at right now, my brain is like, you know what?
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's literally getting to the point that I've used all the words that I have, that there are none left except to just shake my head. And
There you go.
I think
Now
I'm
you need additional words. Now you need additional words.
yeah, it's like I gotta make up new ones or something. But I don't know. I just like I said, I just got out of it. Like I said, and I have no intention on coming back to listen to any of it. And I'm in that phase where between now and what the next 8 to 10 years, man, I'm getting ready for retirement, man.
There you
I
go.
mean, like, no
I'm
one has
I'm
any
getting-
time or room to be dealing with these people past this point. Like
Yeah.
we didn't have any time now.
Yeah.
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 Well, all right. We're gonna get ready to close down here.
I'm sorry, you tried to shut us down before
Hey,
too.
yeah,
My bad.
you good.
5 or 10 times.
Hey, no, it's not 5. This is just number 2. But anything else before we get out of here? MOT.
I'm going to have a live stream tonight talking about the actual waves of villages because people don't like because they have an actual idea of the actual village that they think you're a part of, but villages are something that is lifelong, and I had to be reminded of that. Once I, that's what it is. So
Gotcha. All right, Aori.
Not too much, man. Just keep yourself together and keep yourself strong, man. That's all. Like, yeah, it's for everybody that's dealing with whatever they're dealing with. You know, sometimes you gotta go through what you gotta go through on your own without having secondary inputs, because those secondary inputs will lead you to a path that's not productive. So if it means that you have to uh, dissuade yourself and divorce yourself from secondary inputs that aren't really reaching the objective that's required, that's what you have to do.
All right, gotcha. All right, Dr. McCoy, Sigma Jones.
First off, great stream and happy birthday again, Eisen.
Thanks.
The only thing I would say, just to tie into the subject of pain, is pretty much this quote that says 10% of life is outside of your control, 90% of it is how you respond to it.
100%.
All right. My co-host, Lawrence, Mr. Terrific. What you got?
Thank you for the therapy session. The check is in the mail.
Hey, I'm glad. Hey, glad my couch could be available.
Yeah, I kind of got triggered there for a minute. Sorry.
It was kind of expected to happen, but it's all right.
But in all seriousness, man, like same as always, man. Take care of yourselves, man. Keep your heads up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Be productive. Do what you got to do, man, because ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. Hashtag men first.
Right. Well, and I'm gonna leave y'all with, hey, look, you can't avoid pain. It's foolish to even try. Just learn from it. Don't be a hospital gown, nigga. Peace.